Now, I'm sure it's writ large on your desk, what Judge Fottrell said about Tusla. And he discovered there were 900 cases that did not have a social worker, even though that was ordained by the court. What went wrong?
I think if I can talk to that, under the regulations, it's very important that children in care or children who are on the child protection system have an allocated caseworker. And those cases are under the auspices of the court. The court have, rightly so, the obligation to monitor the care that's been provided to those children. And over the last number of years, where we have not had the resources to be able to allocate a social worker to all of those children, the focus has very much been on trying to ensure that we had eyes on those children and that another professional was allocated to look after and to care for that child. But in this instant, what didn't happen, and it should have happened, what didn't happen is that where a care order had indicated that the judge should have been informed if another professional was being allocated.
Are you saying in all the 900
informed.
cases there was someone looking after those children, but they weren't necessarily a social worker? Is that your contention?
Absolutely, Pat. I mean, we have a case where under the regulations, the allocation is a social worker. And today, the figure is about 98%. So 98% in children in care would have a professional allocated. In this circumstance, the issue is that we did not notify the court of that. That is disrespectful to the court.
The judge did invite you personally to testify and you refused.
I think it's important to set out the circumstance of that, Pat. We, under our structures, have, devolved responsibility where we've regional chief officers who'd be much closer to the detail of a case. And what I did provide to the court was an assurance that those regional chief officers were available to come in and talk to the court. And I am going to go in and attend to the court once this process is completed. Because, Pat, what I have looked for and what I have done immediately in this case is to make sure that we identified this issue. We brought it to the court's attention. The court rightly were concerned and asked us to make sure that there were no other cases. And so we're in the middle of completing a process to make sure that there are no retrospective, so cases that back over the last number of years weren't returned to the court, and that the judge is now fully informed of all of that practice. And what I can assure you is that any child today who is open to the court, their court orders are being implemented.